One citizenship, one passport, one tax residency, and all your assets in one country. This is how a government can control you. What you can say, whether you can leave, how much of your wealth you keep. One policy change and your business is destroyed. One post and your passport is revoked. Flag theory solves this. The 1960s strategy of spreading your life across multiple countries makes you invisible, but automatic information exchange and globalization flip the game on its head. In this video, we'll show you what Flag Theory 2.0 looks like and which moves make sense for you, your assets, and your family in 2026 and beyond. Old flag theory was about tax dodging and invisibility. Modern flag theory is about preventing any single government from monopolizing control over your legal existence. Think about what happens when one government has total power over you. They control your passport, so you can't leave when things deteriorate. They control your tax status, so they can expropriate wealth arbitrarily. They control your assets, so one frozen order leaves you broke. They control your business environment, so one regulation change destroys your operations. The old model tried solving this through invisibility. 5 separate flags, minimal footprint anywhere, perpetual motion to avoid establishing residence. But Flag Theory 2.0 solves it through legitimacy. Multiple documented legal statuses across different sovereignty systems, each relationship fully transparent and compliant. With this setup, you're present in several places, which prevents any single government from exercising monopolistic control. Governments use checks and balances internally. Individuals implement the same principle externally across jurisdictions. Old flag theory focused on creating 5 individual flags. Modern implementation focuses on choosing platforms that multiply rights across entire blocks. One citizenship used to mean one country's rights, right? You got citizenship in Mexico and you had the right to live, work and bank in just Mexico. Now, it can mean access to 27 EU nations plus 3 EEA nations like Norway, Iceland and Liechtenstein. Multiple Caribbean states through the OECD, South American economies through the Mercosur bloc, or Gulf nations through the GCC. The flag itself became less important than the platform to which it unlocks access. Investors who obtained Malta's former citizenship by investment were getting EU citizenship, which meant settlement and establishment rights across 30 countries instead of one. That's why Malta could charge the price it charged. That's why Italy's investor visa topped the charts for popularity gains among surveyed firms in 2025. Portugal's golden visa bounced back too, even with more than 3-year processing delays. The EU platform access matters more than the wait times. Investors are willing to wait because of how valuable the platform is. Compare that to Turkey's citizenship by investment program. National citizenship, sure, but no superannuational benefits attached. Different value proposition entirely. The calculation has shifted from which 5 individual countries serve different functions to which platforms provide maximum coverage with minimum commitments. If you're weighing EU options specifically, check out their residency and citizenship programs on the IMI Program Finder, with current data on investment thresholds, pathway requirements, and the experts who can help you apply. Now, there's a paradox that makes all this possible. The compliance infrastructure that killed old flag theory actually legitimized the new version. Automatic information exchange eliminated hiding and privacy, but these same frameworks made transparent multi-jurisdictional presence acceptable. Documented legal status in several countries simultaneously is now entirely possible thanks to the investment migration industry, with each relationship visible to the relevant authorities. The power balance shifts when you spread yourself across jurisdictions. Try imposing capital controls when someone's assets sit in 3 different countries. Tough. Confiscation loses teeth when property exists under multiple legal systems. So, because of this fact, one government's overreach becomes another's opportunity to attract your business. When Canada's trucker protest exploded in 2022, Panama, Mexico, and Portugal benefited. Early flag theory practitioners hid from authorities. Contemporary practitioners engage transparently with multiple authorities simultaneously. The shift from opacity to legitimacy marks flag theory's evolution into functional sovereignty architecture. Americans now represent 50% of investment migration firms' fastest growing client demographic. That share quadrupled in 6 years, and unlike in other population jurisdictions globally, the formula in stateside isn't about taxes. US citizens pay tax on worldwide income regardless of where they live, work, and bank. Rather, citizens of the world's strongest economic power seek diversification and insurance against overreach. In 2025, only 1 in 4 Americans prioritize mobility in their residency and citizenship search. Asset protection, political insurance, and family security are the primary motivators. This reflects Flag Theory 2.0's core insight, ensuring you're never trapped. Citizenship programs faced mounting pressure through 2025. Washington, D.C. suspended certain visa categories for Antigua and Barbuda and Dominica, citing program integrity issues. Brussels went further, warning that running citizenship by investment programs could trigger visa suspensions for all nationals of those countries. The 5 Eastern Caribbean created ECCIRA, a regional regulatory body with uniform standards and 30-day residency requirements. These governments wouldn't build this infrastructure if they planned to discontinue their progress, generating billions in revenue without replacement sources. But the response reveals something critical. Governments recognize that preventing multi-jurisdictional legal presence is impossible. They can demand higher standards and more compliance, but what they can't do is stop people from holding legal status in multiple countries. Argentina's working on a citizenship by investment program. St. Vincent and the Grenadines say it's moving forward with one despite this pressure. Botswana has announced one of the world's most affordable programs, starting at $75,000. Paraguay saw 43,000 residency applications in 2025, up 50% from the prior year. Programs continue emerging because governments need revenue and talent, while individuals need options. Legal architecture is only one half of the equation. Asset architecture matters just as much for those with enough to consider protection. Traditional banking concentrates wealth in jurisdictions where governments can freeze accounts instantly. Real estate across multiple countries protects against total confiscation, though you're still dealing with local legal systems wherever the property sits. Publicly traded securities give you liquidity, but they trade on regulated exchanges that governments control. Cryptocurrency has changed the equation for millions of investors. It's the first genuinely jurisdiction-agnostic asset class. Freezing those holdings requires tax authorities getting their hands on your private keys. Bank accounts in 3 countries, real estate in 2, securities across multiple brokerages, and self-custody digital assets create a portfolio no single authority can freeze entirely. So, how do you actually implement Flag Theory 2.0 in your life? You can start with temporary residency. Move up to permanent residency for security without political baggage. Citizenship gets you full rights and the ability to pass status to your children. And citizenship by investment allows you to bypass the ladder completely. Supranational citizenship takes those benefits and spreads them across entire regional blocks. Each layer you add dilutes the power any single government has over your life. Most residence by investment programs require minimal physical presence. Citizenship by investment programs typically require none. This decouples settlement rights from settlement itself. Multiple homes means you're never homeless. Multiple citizenships means you're never stateless. Multiple asset jurisdictions mean you're never broke because one government or political leader had a bad day and decided so. If you're serious about implementing this, work with specialists who understand both the legal and tax implications across jurisdictions. IMI's expert directory lists vetted firms and individuals by speciality, program focus, language, and region. If you want to understand how you might also diversify your identity across all these jurisdictions, watch this video on your screen now, all about how you can legally change your name in 4 different jurisdictions and live the James Bond lifestyle. And subscribe if you haven't. We publish new analysis like this every week.